They say history always repeats itself, but this time, it might not be so straightforward as you think. Many might not see it right now, but Ikemoto is cooking in the shadows, and soon it's gonna come to the light. If you want to know what exactly it is I'm referring to, then stick around for this one. It's gonna be a banger. So as we all know, the next chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is set to drop on the 19th of this month. And you guys know the spoilers drop around a week before the official drops, so we only have a week before the next chapter starts dropping. We have a lot to discuss, especially when it pertains to that. There's a lot of talks about Mamushi coming to Konoha and setting his eyes on Ada. That's what everyone is focused on. But what could transpire after that is probably a little more scary, to be honest. And what I'm talking about is the return of Hidari. Now, I'm pretty sure at one point everyone expected a fight between Sarada and Hidari to happen, but that was short-lived because Boruto joined in to help, making it a 2v1 battle. But to be fair, at this point in the story, Sarada just wasn't strong enough. Through her fight with Ryu back in Tsunagakure, Sarada not only gained the power of the Mangekyou Sharingan, like to be fair, that's a massive buff in it itself, but she also gained more mental resolve along with it. The whole internal conflict she had within herself was stated to hold her back. Basically, not fully accepting herself as who she is hindered her growth as a shinobi, disregarding her feelings towards Boruto, feeling unsettled by Sumeru's feelings. By rejecting these feelings, she also rejected the power that was hiding inside of her. So like I said, it wasn't just physical power she gained through this encounter, it was also mental fortitude as well, which sometimes is even more valuable than even physical power. So to say that Sarada is even stronger than before would be a complete understatement. Now it's crazy because the dynamic between Hidari and Sarada is pretty symbolic now. You have Sarada who's finally starting to understand who she is as a person. She understands her feelings better, the feelings of the people around her. She even has a better path to get to her goal now. She isn't fighting who she truly is. She's welcoming it, embracing it. And then you have Hidari, who doesn't understand who or what he is at all, constantly asking even the likes of Jura, what are we? Who am I? Even going as far as to going to Konoha to figure out these answers. So this battle was always planned to be a battle of identity. I would actually put that as the title, but then it wouldn't be catchy enough at all. I don't think a lot of people would truly grasp the message I'm trying to send. But Hidari vs Sarada was always meant to happen because it's to act as her final test to truly see how much she had grown within these past 27 chapters. And the story is already showing us how it's going to set up this confrontation. So for this one, we gotta take it all the way back to chapter 11 during Sarada and Hidari's first encounter with each other. Once Sarada avoided Hidari's Chidori and struck him with her own, he wondered why that is. He then said that Jura told him about those eyes of her, the Sharingan. And then by himself, he comes to the conclusion that he needs those eyes to pretty much master and properly control the Chidori. I previously made a video going over a similar topic, but since we learned about Mamushi's arrival in Konoha and Boruto's intervention in Tsunagakure, the future has changed quite a bit from that time. So a lot of things pertaining to that event has changed. So the story right here is establishing Hidari's interest in Sarada's eyes. Or you could say that Jura established that interest for Hidari. Now he's interested in her for not only being his target, but because of her eyes as well. Sarada is Hidari's only means of truly understanding what he is. The one thing he truly desires out of everything in this world. And through devouring her, he will accomplish that, giving him an identity of his own, which will make him indefinitely stronger. I'm quite sure a lot of y'all are familiar with this vision from Kashin Koji, found in chapter 23. This shows us a brief vision where Hidari is reaching out in a very nostalgic manner. It reminded most people to when Itachi went for Sasuke's eyes back in Shippuden, which automatically tells the readers that we might see a rematch between Sarada and Hidari. One thing I learned reading Ikemoto's work is that everything is done for a reason, which means all these visions have a secret meaning within each other. And I mean every single one. The one we see with Jura holding his eye, it was a foreshadow for Kawaki coming in and saving Boruto from his death, which of course changed the course of the future. We have a vision of Mamushi, which basically revealed his abilities to everyone 4 chapters before it was explained. This vision was also due to a change in the timeline. We have a vision of Himawari most likely encountering Mamushi in Konoha because of the intense look in her eye. She's not allowed to leave Konoha at the moment, so I think it's very likely it is Mamushi who she's going to fight first. But even so, this fight has two directions it can go. Himawari living because of Inojin's new jutsu, or her dying in this fight and Inojin developing this new jutsu to enact vengeance for her death. And just like always, these possibilities will result because of a change in the timeline. You see the common theme within all these visions? They all take place because of a shift in the future. Because Boruto telling Kawaki about his power, he created a future where Kawaki saved him from impending death against Jura. This vision with Inojin resulted in Kashin Koji changing the future by inviting him into the hideout to support them by using him to contact Shikamaru and having him learn a new jutsu to keep Himawari safe. Even the one with Sarada showing her awakened MS is the result of Kashin Koji indirectly awakening this power for her. You see, every one of these visions happened because of a shift in the future that could result in even more possible outcomes. And this one vision right here could be another example of that. You see, from my last video I made, I emphasized the influence that both Boruto and Kashin Koji had on the timeline. In fact, in that video, I specifically said that both Boruto and Koji have been trying to forge the future in their own way, creating and merging two separate timelines into the present. These two timelines are known as Boruto's timeline and Koji's timeline. Throughout the duration of Tubular Vortex, they both made extreme efforts to influence the timeline according to their own ideals and perspective of the current situation. For an example, well, the biggest and most notable example, which was Boruto going to save Konohamaru from Matsuri. Even though Kashin Koji told Boruto not to go to Tsunagakure multiple times, because of the looming threat of Jura killing him, Boruto went anyway because he couldn't accept a future where Konohamaru was sacrificed because of a circumstance that had nothing to do with him. And the same with Yodo. However, Koji never told Boruto of this future, which is why he never acted in time to save her. This was also a fate that Boruto just could not accept. And if left up to him, he would have went to try and save her too. But of course, if things went in Boruto's favor at this point, then Sarada would have never awoken to her MS power, and Jura would have come earlier than expected, which could mean more unnecessary deaths. So not every future Boruto or Koji chooses to take is the best for the timeline. Currently in the story, Koji is altering the future in his favor by teaching Inojin a new jutsu that will inevitably increase the chances of Himawari's survival. And of course, we'll see how that turns out sooner rather than later. Right now, Boruto is trying to be sneaky again by giving Sumire future knowledge on technology not even known to this world yet, all in order to upgrade his sword. What for? We don't know yet. But what I can say is that it's definitely to influence the timeline to his own liking. But this is what I mean when I say the story has two different timelines being worked out. Or rather saying two separate timelines, I'll say we have two people trying to influence the future in their image. This vision where we see Hidari reaching out to Sarada could be a result of Boruto's timeline. From Koji's words in chapter 24, because of Boruto's actions in Tsunagakure, the future has changed again. But this time, it's Mamushi making a move. Now, because of Mamushi making a move to Konoha, you never know how it can affect the next person. You see, this action could very well entice Hidari to make a move of his own as well. A little while before Mamushi decided to act, Jura and Hidari had a conversation about love and how to control it. He sees Jura crying and asks him what he's reading. He states it's a novel that he underestimated, even though it's only a fictional tale. He then says he had a similar experience with Matsuri, where he was able to feel her emotional reactions from interacting with Konohamaru. Anger, sadness, and even a glimpse of love. These are all the feelings he felt from their interaction. And then he stated that he actually gained a great deal through Matsuri, including his tears. So Hidari responds to him that he's intrigued by this. He's interested in the concept of emotional evolution through human interaction. And as someone who desires to learn more about oneself, human interaction, especially with one's target, could yield the same results. You see, throughout this whole conversation, the topic of discussion was basically just Jura emphasizing that the current knowledge they have isn't enough to truly learn about love and how to control it. They need more. The job isn't done. Mamushi chimes in and says that he wants to thrive more as a divine tree. He wants more for his species. Basically just focus on evolving, devouring targets, getting stronger through any means. That is what it means to thrive. So Jura then says that's not a bad way to learn about love, followed by a blank expression on Hidari's face. So it's not a stretch to say that if we see him appear in Konoha or anything in these upcoming chapters, it'll definitely be because of this conversation right here. Hidari just wants to learn more, gather more information, and through this information he'll learn about love and how to conquer it. Sarada is the answer to his problems. To thrive as a species is to gain power, evolve. This is why I feel he will come after Sarada again. By showing us something quote unquote unexpected happening, this is how the story will throw another curveball at us, which will also show us just how much the future has changed because of Boruto or Koji's actions. I'm interested in seeing exactly how this interaction will go, because unlike last time, this time Mamushi could also be in Konoha too, which will give us a similar feeling of when Hidari first came to Konoha with Jura. One way I see this happening is Boruto coming to help Sarada immediately when this happens, because above all else, Boruto feels like it's his responsibility to protect her, and this stems from Sasuke's wishes, the one who he respects most. So keeping her safe is a high priority for him, but if that was to happen, what I would like to see is Sarada rejecting his help this time to confront him by herself. And by doing this, we can probably see more of Sarada's new power via the Susanoo, more Oharume, even the power of both of her eyes working together simultaneously. That's how I feel like the story could benefit the most, having the final one-on-one between Sarada and Hidari. But moral of the video, because of the changes to the future that Boruto and Kashin Koji made, it resulted in Hidari making his move as well, and with Sarada as his target. So if you want to see an in-depth analysis on how that fight will go down, and what we will see in that fight, then let's try and get this video to 400 likes. I'll definitely do a deep dive on that because that fight could be in contention for some of the best in the series. But for this video, I wanted to show everybody just how the most minute change in the timeline could produce a whole bunch of other futures that could either benefit or detriment the outcome of said future. So let me know what you would like to see down below in the comment section. Should we get a Boruto and Sarada versus Hidari rematch? Or do you want Sarada to get her own solo matchup against Hidari to show just how much she's grown throughout the series? Let me know what you guys want to see down below in the comment section. And that's it for my short little rant. So if you enjoyed this video and wouldn't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until next time, I'll see you boys and girls on my next one. And I'm out. Peace.